Welcome, Echoes, to Empyrean Wilds Episode 5, a Cypher system-based TTRPG. I am Evie, the Disaster GM. My pronouns are she, they, or any, and I am the game runner for this fine of disastrous group. Let's go ahead and go around and introduce ourselves. I just caused a minor panic among some of the players, like just before we went live, so I'm sure that we're going to have a great time today. Let's start with Matt, since you weren't here last time.
Hello. My name is Matt, he, him pronouns. I'm so sad to have missed last time, but I'm glad to be back in the saddle. I'm playing Fang Wu, the risk-taking guy who can walk through walls a little bit slowly, and is all about gambling all the time, ready to take some risks. Thank you.
Beautiful, wonderful. Joel.
Hello, I am Joel. I use any pronouns. I'm going to be playing Val Mistforge, who is an appealing speaker who rises from the depths and shepherds spirits and also causes trauma for her party members.
Just a little bit. Just sometimes. Just like a sprinkle on top.
It's not a sprinkle.
Maggie.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I use they, she pronouns, and I'm playing Sybil, who is an impulsive adept who is a walking dream and sees beyond, like a spooky ghost.
Beyond what, though?
A lot of things. Like, it literally just
social cues.
Yeah, and also just sticking her head through something sometimes. And Kale, Alina. Reading the screen instead of reading the screen instead of like knowing or anything. I'm so good at this. Please go.
Great, we're doing good today. I'm sure you're just busy plotting whatever you're gonna do to us, so that's cool. Hi everybody, I'm Alina. I will be playing Kale, who is our former depressed tea shop owner, now very happy weird dragon person. They are both of our pronouns are they, them. They are an empathic explorer who helps their friends and has the soul of a dragon.
Lovely. And unfortunately, due to real life obligations and, the fact that it's Mother's Day, we are missing Amanda, who will be back next time. But Amanda normally plays Varen, who is she, her. And Varen is a weird adept who does a bunch of weird shit with dark matter and stuff. I don't know. I don't have the full title in front of me, but
Incredible.
We'll figure it out eventually. Yeah, I swear I'm so good at this.
It's definitely does weird shit with dark matter.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. In the official
it's alive or something.
Yeah.
It says does weird shit.
Yeah, it does weird shit.
That's a good descriptor, actually.
Yeah.
It is actually.
I could write that.
So Empyrean Wilds runs every other Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, with my wonderful cast. If you are watching this for the first time, whether that be on Twitch, YouTube, or Moonbeam, go ahead and like, follow, subscribe, whatever clicky buttons you want to do. To be able to catch us the next time we happen to go live, which this does multi-stream across both Twitch and Moonbeam, specifically at the Anywhere Door realm, and I believe you might also be able to see us in the tabletop public realm today. Yeah, and uploads to YouTube thereafter. In addition, you will be able to notice from the corner of the screen, there's a little QR code because we are raising funds for the Trans Women of Color Collective. TWOCC has a mission to uplift the narratives and leadership and lived experiences of trans and gender nonconforming people of color while building towards the collective liberation of all oppressed people. I have legitimately lost track of the number of anti-trans legislation that has been attempted to be passed just this year, but it is well over 800, possibly verging on 1,000. It's just completely fucking crazy. So check them out from the link that will either be in description or chat. Donate if you can. Just spread the word. If you use the QR code or our Tiltify link, AEA receives no portion of those donations. That goes directly to TWOCC. But with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and roll into focusing on today's session. We at the Archives would like to remind you that this is an adult content rated game with depictions of violence, mentions of loss or trauma, and or similar content. We do our best not to cross each other's lines, but for those watching, you have been warned. Last time, after having made their successful delivery stop at a small coastal town, and knowing that they needed to move fairly quickly further southward to try and discover what the fuck might be going on with these weird vision dream things that are happening, the squiggly moving tattoos on Varen, and other possible concerns, including visions of a long-lost pseudo-sibling doing something that caused other events to happen. The group were making some fairly decent time. Did not notice something in the water during the daytime, but in the evening, one of the crew members happened to see in the water, because Kale can see in the dark, some strange amorphous shape that was following the ship, and upon investigation could not figure out what it was from deck top, so Belle promptly tied a rope to herself, handed it to Corey, and jumped in. Corey proceeded to tie it off, and Belle realized that they were giant fucking jellyfish. And by giant, I mean, like, mutated by magic, like, as big as a house jellyfish. But while in the water, because this was the first trip into the ocean water since all of these events had started off, Belle heard the urgency of the call of Paradoha to something from within. As Corey had been given the instruction to pull Belle up after a specific period of time, they did start to haul her back onto the deck, which caused her to then go, no, I'm not losing this clue, I'm not losing this sound. And without communicating to the group whatsoever, with a storm already started overhead at night, untied herself from the boat and dove into the water, causing mass panic on board. They had no idea how to handle it, and she proceeded to swim down and down and down and down. So the majority of that session consisted of them trying to figure out what the fuck to do about it, get the boat back to where she was, and Belle discovering something that had fallen from a ship or possibly floated from a shipwreck via luck and searching and just feeling around on the ocean floor, because it was night and Belle cannot see in the dark, and found something and rocketed herself back up to the surface of the water with an artifact that she had on hand, and it was a similar puzzle box to what Ace had been messing with in that vision where she had seen through Ace's eyes. So thereafter, there has been a little bit of talk, a little bit of insistence on communication, especially when going through life-risking circumstances, and possibly a little bit of healing and recovery from the couple of stings that Belle took from the jellyfish when she was not able to avoid them entirely. But it is now the next day. The storm is mostly past, but it is still raining lightly. As you guys come into the new dawn, the new day, and attempt to bypass whatever the fuck just happened. You are maybe a couple hours out from Polyarna, but you will be able to make port probably fairly soon.
I'm gonna recover.
You're gonna recover? You're gonna
Oh,
take your full recovery? Because you would be able to have taken the full night if you wanted.
I realized I don't have a lot of points missing anymore, so I'll just go to max with
Okay.
with all, because this is the following day, so I would have had time to just rest the whole set of. It's fine. We understand.
Yeah, because you probably made it back
Nailed it.
to the deck sometime around midnight, so
Mhm.
it would be somewhere between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. It's hard to tell with the fact that it's still kind of overcast.
Then yes, I bow rested and then took to the helm and has been very quiet for as long as time has passed.
So you only took an hour recovery and you didn't sleep, or you took a full recovery and let someone else handle the
Full
helm?
recovery.
Okay.
Full recovery, like she full rested, and then
Okay. So
the following morning she's
back
as soon as
yeah,
we go,
back
she's-
at the helm. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I am also taking recovery, and I think Kale probably slept in because it took them a while to get to sleep after that scare.
Yeah.
They probably paced the deck for a portion of the night and then finally tired themselves out enough to sleep.
Okay, so you're probably just waking up or possibly still asleep.
Probably.
Okay. Sybil?
Time for a morning cup of tea.
I think that throughout this whole journey, Sybil has periodically it has enjoyed bothering Ball.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever Ball's at the helm, has probably been at least semi close by with a little notebook.
Okay.
And is very pointedly today not sitting anywhere close to her. Comes out and is just absolutely ignoring Ball today. She's very annoyed. And we'll probably find Kale for tea or Fang for being taught card games or something.
Okay. So Fang, you had an interesting little mini adventure of your own while you were away from the group, just kind of getting up to your own fun and games, both during that brief onshore stay that they took, and then also during the day and the previous night. Where would you say that you are currently either holed up or wandering around?
I'd say that Fong, maybe not totally used to the protocol, the procedure where everyone would normally be. He'd be wandering around looking for Ball, just going through each deck. He might have been initially thinking, okay, maybe I could wait outside the outside her quarters, but then that might be weird. It might feel like an ambush. So I'm gonna go somewhere else and then see if we can run into each other.
Okay, so Belle generally sleeps in the captain's quarters, and has been at the helm since waking up. So you probably checked under deck and have been walking around the main deck, and would only just now be realizing, up at the helm, up at the wheel, that Belle's up there.
I should have known.
Yeah.
Then I'll after making the realization, look around, because I imagine it's like one of those, oh man, but then look casual and slowly walk over, as though aimlessly, but with the direction of going to the helm.
Okay.
I like the idea of me being just standing there in the most visible point to the deck, and then Fong just walking in circles trying to figure where I am.
Serpentine.
Where haven't I checked? And I'm right over there.
Just I didn't see
you probably checked the deck early and then went below decks when Bal went up to the helm and then came back up, and you're just I have no idea where they are.
I've checked everywhere.
But yeah, so go ahead and give me like a reading people / insight type of roll to see if you can determine from Fang's behavior that Fang is actually looking for you or is just wandering around being a strange landlubber.
Well, I am trained in 3 different types of interaction-based things. But I'm trained in deception and seeing through deception.
Okay. So
So
that does ease it by 1.
Yeah. 5.
5.
Yeah,
You're not
I'm
sure
fucking-
if Fang is just being a weird land person, because
Yeah.
you don't quite get Fang yet, or if Fang is like subtly trying to ease their way over to you, because there is a little bit of awkwardness on deck this morning after the events of the previous night.
A little bit. Come on now. I do that thing where you kind of suspect that someone is looking at you or for you, and you just kind of stare straight ahead, pretending that you don't see them,
Okay.
in hope that they don't approach.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Oh, fancy running into you.
Oh, hello.
I have an idea.
Oh God.
So I'm not any good with the nets when it comes to fishing, but I
Right.
think that I'd be a good receptionist for you.
Pardon?
I think I'd be a good receptionist. Hear me out. So last night I was
Right.
walking through the halls, because I
Yeah. There's a moment of Bal being like, what?
I was walking through the halls of the ship, and
Right.
I was a little hungry because it was storming, and it just whenever it storms, I get hungry because it reminds me of like my stomach rumbling. Um, I was I was trying to look for some food. I was minding my own business, trying to find something to eat,
Right.
and then I noticed a light. A light. I think it was coming through your door, and I was like, "Oh, huh. Someone has to answer that light." And so I go in. Was the door open already? I don't remember. It's been a long time. I think it was open already. And so I was like, "Oh, I might as well go in and answer that light." You're out of jerky, by the way. But uh I have a message for you. And this is where the whole receptionist thing comes in, because if you're busy doing stuff, you need someone to answer the stones for you.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, there's a message. So from and I only heard the name once, so I apologize if I say it wrong, but Yulan Farrick was the one who was looking for you. And they said that Counselor Ada is indisposed for the time being. They said that they started fixing the academy, but
Right.
apparently there were strange growths
Right, yeah.
and traces of Madame Orla were found.
Right.
Her house robe. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's all right. If you're talking to the wrong person though, that you should probably tell that to Sybil.
Oh, okay.
I Orla is one of Sybil's moms, right?
Oh,
I am remembering this character correctly, right? Okay, yeah.
You are.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, but there was also like there was a strange glowing rune.
Right.
Counselor Ada had banned anyone from making contact with it, but I answered the stone, and that's what I got.
Evie, Ada is who again? Is that Sybil's other mom?
Yeah, Ada is the mom that you have the Joyce Summers relationship with.
Right. You said there was a rune, as in like a symbol that where people are not allowed to touch.
Like a strange glowing rune.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I'll admit I didn't ask any questions because I was scrambling to find something to write this stuff down with.
Right. Did you succeed at it?
No. So I just
Right.
remember the stuff I heard, and I just thought, okay, I'll repeat this over and over again in my head, so then I
Right.
can tell you exactly what I heard.
Yeah.
Right.
I would like to point out that there's not going to be anything to write with or write on in the captain's quarters because Bal can't write.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, could you pass on that information over to Sybil, for me, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant. Thank you. We can talk about the secretary thing later. Oh, sorry, receptionist thing.
Yeah, either way,
Later. Right.
sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. And Bal just was talking to you, so it was looking at you, and as soon as she goes, "Okay, thank you," her vision just kind of glazes over as she stares into back into the distance, like, "All right, conversation's over. Please leave."
Fang would start running to find Sybil.
Sybil is as far away from Ball as physically possible on a boat, which I
So
imagine
at
is
the
just
front.
yeah, just at the front, and is like sitting. I imagine like facing outward at the water, so she does not even have to look at Ball, which means that she is just like having a really rough time, like bracing a journal on the edge of the ship, and every time that we like hit a wave, she's like,
Which it could honestly
bad.
also be up in the crow's nest, which you would have to share with the person that's on duty.
No, I'm
but
okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I didn't like it that much
So
up
you
there.
would have been able to see Sybil's very obviously like prismatic white hair at the front of the ship. Like that when you were searching for Bal, that would have been something that you would have easily noticed because Sybil's hair very much stands out, even in the rain.
Okay. I'd say like immediately when we wrap up between Bal and Fang, Fang immediately turns towards Sybil. Is like, Sybil, I have to tell you something.
From the back of the ship?
Yes.
Okay.
Sybil does not respond. She's just like,
Sybil.
Can you come over here, maybe?
I'm on my way.
Okay. Great.
March over happily with a potential new job.
Perfect.
So good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Didn't see you during all of the nonsense last night, so I assume you got better sleep. Were you? I assumed you were asleep. Ball jumped into the ocean.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't tell any of us what was going on. It's fine.
See, look, if I can be the receptionist, then I could be the person who relays this information.
You're Ball's receptionist now?
I'm trying to be. Look, we're still in negotiations. We got to talk salary and all that stuff, but
It's Ball. Yeah, Ball doesn't. She doesn't write, so that actually would probably be helpful for her to have somebody that.
I can do that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, more qualifications. Let's go.
So you know what? Yeah, you're Ball's receptionist now.
Excellent.
So Ball's like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I think that I have power on the ship, and she does not. There's absolutely no reason why. Sybil's like, yeah, okay. What's
So
what's going on?
So I received a message, and Ball said I should tell you.
Okay.
They said that Counselor Ada is indisposed for the time being. They started fixing up the
Okay.
academy,
Sure.
and there were strange growths.
Yeah. Oh man, you should have seen it.
I hope to at some point. But also that there were traces of Madame Orla that were found.
That traces.
Yeah,
Like
her house robe was found tangled among the thorn vines there.
okay. Okay. She
And-
did go after my brother, so that would make sense. Ada's my mom, and Orla's also my mom.
Oh, okay. And you note that Fang, like, you see him, like, kind of stare off into the distance and then nod, like he's mentally noting that information, trying his best to be a good receptionist.
That is what a receptionist does. That's true.
Also, there was a strange glowing rune.
Just, was it close to where they found her house robe, or
I don't know.
they just said that there was a room?
There was a
Cool.
strange glowing rune, but Counselor Ada, your mom, one of
Mhm.
your moms, banned anyone from making contact with it.
That makes sense. But now she's indisposed for the time being. That doesn't sound great. Who did you talk to? I need to.
Yulon
some-
Farrick.
Yulon Ferrick. Do I know this person, Abby?
That is the little archaeologist, the nerdy little,
That would've-
very, very
yeah.
nervous archaeologist that helped to translate some books for you.
That tracks. Okay. Okay. I need to. Who? Okay, so my mom's going off to look for my mom, maybe, but she's not there. I need to talk to people. Thank you very much. Was there anything else in this message, or is that it?
That's all I've got.
Okay. Are you supposed to tip a receptionist? I don't typically.
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any message you'd like me to pass on to Baal?
Are you opposed to saying mean things? No, that's never mind. It's okay. No, it's okay.
Okay.
I don't need to. If she wants to talk to me, if she wants to tell us what's going on, then she knows where I am because I'm on a boat that she controls.
Okay, I'll tell her that.
Okay, thanks.
Perfect.
And Sybil just
telephone gaming it across the ship. I love it.
immediately just head in hands, like you would look back if you're walking over back towards Ball, and she's just like very softly knocking her head against the side of the ship. She's like, oh my god, I can't. I hate. That's all. But she would go to the stone and try and like call out if she can.
Okay, so you're gonna go
Some
to
recognition.
Bell's captain's quarters to use the calling stone?
Yep, you're the one that wanted to put the glowy rock in your chambers. I have to go into your bedroom in order to make a phone call.
That's Ball has not been against you guys. You and Kale specifically going into the cabin.
No.
It's everybody else that isn't really allowed. So
All right.
Uh,
So, please go ahead and give me an intellect roll to make it basically activate on the other side high, like brightly enough to catch someone's attention. This will also determine whose attention you happen to catch, because you know that the other stone is located in the Keenly residence, not in the council chambers.
I have rolled a 1.
Excellent.
It's
Good.
Mother's Day, Evie. You have to let me talk to my
Perfect.
mom.
Well, the thing is, the last time someone attempted to use this from your end, they also happened to roll a 1. And they got Vera instead. So,
Cool. Great.
so you go in, and the stone is back in its like shallow holder, where you had shuffled it back to after your attempt to find something in Belle's office the previous night during the whole hullabaloo. And you place your hand on it, and you're just like focusing to try and catch anyone's attention. And initially you get that kind of trying to hear something through water effect, because it does go off. And then you hear a vaguely familiar voice say, hello, hello, am I using this right? Hello?
Is that Yulon? Or
Sybil?
yeah, it's me.
Hi, Sybil. Yeah, it's Yulon. Hi.
Hi. Where is my mom? Can you put my mom on, please?
She's there currently.
Where is there? Yulon, I'm gonna need you to take some deep breaths, because I have a lot of questions, and it's gonna take a long time if you don't breathe first.
Councilwoman Ada sent me here with some things for your brother and sister to eat while she investigates the site of the explosion.
She's there.
Investigating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long has she been there?
Since about early afternoon yesterday.
But you've talked to her since then?
No.
Okay, can you go try and talk to her, please? And make sure that she's still there?
She told me to make sure that Vera is eating. You're just as scary as she is, honestly speaking, but
No,
she could reach
she's
me
actually
right now, but you can't. So I think I'm going to have to continue making sure that your little sister is watched over.
Can you
since
put
your brother is
Can you put
out
Vera
right now.
on? Where is Milo? Where is he?
Milo is taking out his frustrations in the trees.
That makes sense. Can you just please put Vera on for just a second? Please.
Okay. She's not happy though. And then you lose connection with him, and it takes a couple of minutes before. If this is the stupid Captain Man again,
Vera.
Vera.
Hi.
Sybil.
It's not the stupid Captain Man. Also, it's stupid Captain Lady, and you gotta be nice.
Okay, so if she's a lady now, stupid Captain Lady with the stupid tentacle, it's her fault.
Yeah, it's still her though.
When are
it
you
is
coming
her,
back?
the one from before.
When are you coming back?
I don't. I don't know.
It sucks so much because we found out about Mom's like nightie or whatever it is that she wears, and
Her like robe. Yeah.
Mama has been all quiet, and now she's trying to find her too. And when are you coming back?
Soonish. Fingers crossed. I don't drive the boat, so could be a little bit, but uh, I'm looking for moms.
Can you
You
convince Mama to not go disappear too?
I'm hoping. Which is what I needed to talk to you about, is that Yulan isn't gonna leave if he thinks that you're not going to be okay. But I
He's
really would prefer.
uptight.
He's incredibly uptight, bud. Listen, Yulan is really, really stressed, but I really need him to go check and make sure that Mom is still down there. And the only way that he's going to do that is if he either
I sneak out first.
What if we just make him think that you sneak out?
I mean, I can have my friend play lookout for me. I'm pretty sure I can convince them to play lookout, and no one else would be able to see.
You're honey.
And then it's like having two sets of eyes, and I'd be able to get out really easily. And I found that one trellis on the side of the house that you used to use to sneak out, and I could probably climb down with that.
Yeah. I do not want you to go to the academy right now, because it's dangerous there. Especially if
I'm not going to go to the academy. I'm just going to sneak out so that he freaks out and goes and tries to get Mama.
As long as you don't go to the academy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just sneak out, find Milo. Do you remember my old dorm when I lived at the academy for a bit?
Yeah.
If you want to go there, you can, but it's pretty far.
It's that's really close to the new woods. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll go there. Okay. Yeah.
You can. If you go to the new woods, just think really hard about my friend Kale. I think you met him a couple of times. They're the one that look like a dragon.
They spent a lot of time with Milo, not really with me.
Yeah, but those are their woods. So just be nice and ask permission and be respectful. Okay. And there should be some places inside the woods that you guys can stay for a little bit if you want.
Okay.
Don't tell Yulan anything.
Yeah. No, nothing. They're really uptight, and they keep trying to like food is going to make it better. And
you do have to eat though, hun.
I am eating, but I can't eat 5 meals in a day, and he keeps trying to make me eat like it's going to make it better. Because
no, you don't have to tell me.
Obviously, Mama's stressed, and we all. I mean, it was Mom, but we want Mom back, but we don't want to lose Mama either, and obviously we're stressed. But 5 meals, that's a lot. I mean, it's just always food or trying to read me reports
when he came down
from a really weird archaeology site that I just
How about you tell me about it when I come home? Okay?
Okay.
I'll be home so soon. Evie, is there another communication system that is set up at the Grove? Nope. Or are these the only 2 that exist?
These are the only 2. They were the only 2 that you found in the various studies that you were able to use, and gave one side to Ada to keep at the house for you guys to be able to call back in and to check in. And the other one went to the boat.
Oh, the Grove has a teleportation circle, and so does your house?
Yes.
True.
She could just go there if she doesn't get lost in the teleportation network.
Oh,
which is a problem.
So
remember,
okay,
one of those teleportation circles goes directly into the old research center that
one of
got
those
taken
teleportation
over.
circles
Yeah.
ate my mom.
Yeah.
That's how your brother got there.
Yeah, and you would know from prior conversations with Ada, and from like the couple of interactions you've managed to have with Vera over these calls, that Vera is like pathologically afraid of that like array that's currently in your living room,
Understandably so.
because it exploded, you disappeared, the weird tentacle armed person disappeared, and then Milo disappeared, and then Orla disappeared. All through it in like one night.
I think her hating Bao is very understandable, considering that she was having a relatively normal life. I show up and everybody fucking disappears.
She had just made up with Sybil.
Yeah.
Just made up with Sybil.
Yeah.
And then there's a conversation that's had below, and Orla starts waking up, and Milo is not able to deter Orla. So all of that happened while Vera is pretending to sleep upstairs.
It's fine.
Whoops.
I think the last thing that Sybil says to Vera is, we're gonna nail down the plan here, but it's essentially, you have 48 hours, I'll say, 2 days. You can be missing for 2 days. If I do not hear you at the end of 2 days, I'm going to find you myself, okay? I'm going to assume that you are dead or dying somewhere. Okay?
Okay.
2 days, that's the most.
Okay.
I assume before then.
Give me a perception check, please.
That's a 17.
There's the slight sound of something kind of scraping, and like a little bit of a. Okay.
I thought she was doing this.
Okay, I can. Yeah.
Vera? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Vera.
Nothing. Why do you always think I'm up to something?
Because I can hear you doing something. You're not quiet,
no,
Vera.
You can't. No, you can't.
I can't hear you doing nothing.
Across the world
I can't
right
hear
now,
you
in
doing
a boat.
nothing.
Yeah,
I'm on a boat.
You're on
Boats
a boat
don't mess
somewhere.
with my hearing.
Yeah, but you can hear other stuff.
Vera, I'm gonna
on.
tell Yulon everything that we said if you don't tell me what you were doing.
Hi, Yulon. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm still talking to Sybil. She doesn't want to talk to you, though.
Tell him to go away.
Yes, you should go away and give us privacy because we are sisters.
Why did you make that sound fake? We are sisters. Why would you say it like that?
I didn't say anything weird. You said things weird.
Because we are sisters. Yeah. We are. Oh my god. You're adopted. Oh my god. Okay.
No, I'm not. You are.
Okay. Is he gone or what? And what were you doing? Oh my god.
I wasn't doing anything. You were hearing things.
Okay, fine. Okay, 48 hours. 48 hours.
Yes, 48.
If I do not hear you in 48 hours, I'm going to find you.
Exactly. I believe you.
Vera.
Sybil.
Please be safe.
I'll be fine.
I don't like this plan. It's not the best plan. But
I don't want Mom. I don't want Mama to get lost.
No, I want her to not be there. And she's not going to listen to anybody else.
So, it's a plan. And you'll hear from me in 2 days. And It'll be fine. Hi, Yulan. I gotta go. Bye. And then like you lose connection with her.
Oh, this absolute idiot. Okay. Okay. Sybil's got to go relay the message over to Kale. And is just gonna stalk back up the deck.
So yeah,
Try and
you
find him.
are freshly starting to wake up, Kale. You had a stressful night.
Yep.
You guys are probably an hour from port now, so you can kind of see it in the distance when you go and look like from the really high vantage point. It's just like the slightest hint of an irregularity to the coastline in the distance.
Cool. Kale is pulling on their like nightgown. They're gonna whisper to Pico.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Hi.
can hear me, but just keep sleeping. You
No,
We
I
both-
can be awake. I can be awake.
We're not
Hi.
quite in port yet. You could sleep in a little.
Okay. Let me know if you need
I'm-
sleep.
I will. I'll be back. And then they'll creep off down the hall and go to wherever the galley is. And I'm sure there's a pot of water somewhere they can heal, or they can pour into a kettle.
Yeah.
Not
Easily.
Pico. Pico, they're letting sleep. And then they're
Okay.
just, Sybil can find them probably in whatever little mess area or sitting on a crate, sipping some tea,
Okay.
pot beside them.
Yeah.
Looking sleepy.
Oh, great. Good. Do you have another cup?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Not to-
And they'll appear a cup out of nowhere and fill it with tea and hand you a fresh, hot, strong cup of tea.
Thank
Right, you
you.
do have that hammer space to just be able to like blink things into existence.
Like Pico's sitting beside them, but Pico's asleep, and they just sort of be like, whoop.
Thank you. My. So Fang is Ball's receptionist now. I think I hired them. Can I hire people? I did.
Right. Why does a ship need a receptionist?
I don't think that they know what a receptionist is, honestly, from the messages, yes, but then they asked me if I wanted to like send a message back, and that's generally not like receptionists tend to stay in one place. I don't know.
Also,
I don't
they
know.
tend to work in places of business where there are, say, walk-in clients, which doesn't
Yeah.
happen as often on a ship, one would think.
No, I don't know. I was just trying to bother Ball, if I'm being honest. But I think it would. I don't know. So my mom is going after it to look at to find my mom.
Right.
Which I am very uncomfortable with because I don't want to lose another parent, and I don't want to get into all of that because it's a lot of stuff.
So has she gone to the array?
She's at the academy. She said there's a weird, like, glowing rune or something. But
Is that the teleportation array, perhaps?
I don't know. Nobody knows anything, and Yulon won't tell me anything. So I sent my sister into the grove with my brother, so that to kind of like, if she's down there, Yulon, you remember the weird like spindly scared person that was translating for me before we shipped out? That's Yulon.
I was wondering. I didn't
that's-
recall the name.
No, that's them. Yulon.
Actually, that's
Yeah.
a good idea, I think. I was concerned that you were sending your sister somewhere else, but the rabbits are in the grove and they should be able to help her.
I told them that it's yours, so
Right.
they should.
As long as she doesn't get lost, they should, and even if she does, they'll find her.
Yeah,
That's a safe place for her right now, and she'll be fed and looked cared for,
I will
especially if
be.
there's no parent at home to do so.
She's got 2 days, and if
How's
I
your
don't hear,
brother?
I don't know. He wasn't there. Not good. Blowing off steam somewhere in the woods. That's kind of what he did before, but it's probably worse now. Uh,
I mean, it's not bad for him to find somewhere secluded to learn his new strength.
I know he actually might really like the Grove.
He
I kept
might,
trying to get him
actually.
to go, but
I told him as much as well, so if he needs it, he will find his way there.
Well, I've got 2 days, and if I don't hear from Yulan or my mom in the meantime, I'm gonna assume that they're just dead, I guess, and I'm gonna go have to get them myself. So this is
Kale
just
will
me
just
telling
put an
you.
arm around you and kind of pull you close so that you're leaning against them and say, your mothers are both very resourceful. And I know they haven't had quite the level of adventure in their lives that we have, but I don't think there's cause to be hopeless yet.
Mm.
All is still out there somewhere. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's just the somewhere that I'm worried about.
Well, the teleportation array is very unpredictable.
Yura won't go in
We've-
there unless she has to, so it's fine on that. But Milo,
Yes.
yeah,
The glowing rune in the academy could be connected to the teleportation network, or it could be something else. And we know that at one point we were teleported all the way to not my grove, but the grove. So it seems as though it can reach places outside the city.
yeah,
I know that was part of your reasoning in coming on this journey, was that your mother could be anywhere. And we weren't finding clues in Isenbridge, so
Sybil, make an intellect check for me. Because you guys did some vague research on what those devices that create the teleportation circles were created from. So this is to remember what they're made from.
I got a nat 20.
Got a nat 20.
nice.
So you
exactly what they
vividly
are.
remember that
Yeah.
those artifacts, those devices that create the teleportation arrays, use a clipping of root or a seed from one of the trees from the groves that create that lost effect that teleports you all over the place within the woods and the groves and pushes you out. So they utilized
Fully
that
Lost Wood
power
style.
to create the teleportation arrays. So there's always just this tiny little bump of tree root that sticks up in the middle of the rune or array or whatever it looks like. So with that nat 20, you would very easily be able to assume that because it is connected to the teleportation of the groves, well, yes, it will connect to the arrays that are more structured to create direct lines. It could, any of them, send you to any of the groves that may still exist or previously existed. And a slight correction to Kale, the array didn't send you to the grove. Saldai brought you to the grove by accident.
Right.
And still out there somewhere. We have no idea what happened to Saldai.
Mm-hmm.
Saldai was eventually discovered again, just in a different location. You had brief interaction with them prior to leaving on your trip.
Awesome.
So yeah, while it is according to Sybil's thought process of how magic works and how these things work, and remembering the research you guys did on these devices, while it is possible that an array could send someone to the grove, because that is the originator, the home of where all of these groves start from, it could theoretically send someone to anywhere with a connection to those trees.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that Stibble is the stiffest human being you have ever hugged and has just not moved the entire time that you are trying to console her with all of this.
Mhm.
And she,
Have you eaten today? I know that you don't have to, but it is pleasurable.
it's, no, it's fine. What's food gonna do anyway?
Give you a few moments of tasting something nice.
Hmm.
I'm
Everything
sure
on this
Ball's got a muffin
tastes
around
like
somewhere.
salt. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Let's. Ball certainly has some muffins around here somewhere. Actually, I think everyone needs some muffins, except for maybe Ball. I'm feeling a particular kind of way towards Ball at the moment. That sounds fun. How long until we get in, do you think?
I was beginning to see land on the horizon some time ago. Maybe the next turn of the sand?
That's enough time. Let's make some muffins.
We're gonna make some muffins.
Okay, so you're gonna work.
We're gonna
with
stress
the-
bake.
Everyone but Ball!
Yeah, so you're gonna work with the on-ship baker to make some blueberry
Yeah,
muffins.
yeah, we have a baker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna make them.
Have
You're
some
gonna be
muffins
like,
made,
someone make me
and then
muffins.
start shredding them, or like taking them out to various crew members except for Bell.
I'm giving them to. I'm walking around giving them to absolutely everyone
Except for Bell.
except for Bal.
Okay.
I am going to purloin an extra,
Uh-huh.
and at some point sidle up to Bell and just be like, muffin. Just a little handoff.
Val's just gonna politely turn it down.
Yeah. So this is like, because of how long it will take to make them, it is probably as you are starting to navigate the ship towards the docks of Polyrna.
Yeah.
Because have to get out all the supplies, make it, bake them, get them into a basket to be brought around to everyone. So you're walking around doing this as you guys are arriving towards the port. I love it. Let me be petty. But yeah, so as you are arriving towards the port of Polyrna, which it's sad that Amanda isn't here since Polyrna is the city-state that Varen comes from.
Yeah.
So
She's taking a nap.
Yeah, she had a really long night. She's still asleep.
The primary city, the main city of Polyrna, just like Icenbridge city-state has a primary city of Icenbridge. The primary city of Polyrna is actually the port city that is used to, basically mercantilely transport their various goods in and out. And it is large. It is a large city. Easily the size of Icenbridge, if not bigger. But instead of spread upwards, it's spread out and around. There are basically the entire length of the city is shipyards and docks. You see a variety of smaller ships like yours, schooners, some fishing ships, and then you also see much larger ones of caravels and carracks, because of their shipping of not just agricultural grown goods, but live cattle and things like that. So any of the red meat that would have been utilized for Icenbridge and some of the other cities that don't necessarily have full cattle grazing because of their geography came from Polyrna. So these are like the size of ships that Bal remembers wanting and remembers probably sailing on at least once or twice. With all kinds of colorful sails, instead of the drab kind of beige-ish brown that a lot of the sails that are on the riverboats that travel from Ison Bridge down through Karthok. You have muted blues and reds and greens and various patterns sewn into them.
Mhm.
So that you have beautiful tessellations of geometric shapes. As you make dock, which is fairly easy, there's usually plenty of space. You also see the sprawling city ahead of you of mostly 1 and 2 level homes with a few maybe 4 or 5 level buildings a little bit further in. But mostly by the docks is warehouses, cattle yards, things like that for actual transport. But it's fairly easy to make dock, and paying the dock master would only be about probably 20 clip charge.
20?
Yes.
The only one of us tracking money.
The only one
Wow.
was with money.
I am running a business.
Yeah, Joel actually enjoys that side. So normally I'm just like, it'll be a little bit, but
I'm the player that tracks like paper and ink for wizards and like coins
Mhm.
and
and
ammunition
ammo for
and
my
stuff like that,
ranged
yeah.
weapons.
So
Everything.
for Joel's sake, yeah, it costs you about 20 clip. And you're good for about a week worth of stay at the dock. And you have, you know, the means with which to either stay on the boat or go exploring. But you guys are now at Polyerna. Most of the crew has munched on delicious fresh baked blueberry muffins. And what do you want to do?
Kale,
Yes.
do you want to try and see if we can find that weird... It was... I don't even know how we would try and find the weird sensation that you felt.
I had been planning on it, but I think I will have a better chance finding it once I'm standing on solid ground. Not that
Agreed. I would
I
like to
haven't
be
enjoyed-
on this boat.
Yeah, the ocean is an interesting change. I've never really sailed before, but I'm rather itching to be on something solid.
Yeah, it's definitely a different sensation for you, Kale, because of how earthen and plant-based you are. It feels different, like even just the sensation of your own abilities feel different on land than they do on the water.
Ball?
Bal is like busy.
Yeah.
So you would have to go up to Bal and be like,
I'll
she'd
duck
probably
in as you're in the middle of everything and be like, I know that you have quite a lot to do with docking and unloading and such, but will you be available later today? Maybe this evening for dinner?
Sure.
All right.
He's currently just finishing up inventory, making sure to know what to unload and upload and what needs to be bought and traded and all the minutia.
You don't have any deliveries for this location. You did your last delivery already. So it would mostly be supplies and whatever you might want to carry with you if you guys are going to be wandering away from the ship for any length of time.
I think I have a designated person that we usually in charge of like making sure that we buy the things that we need.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably make sure that we keep the tea well stocked and the muffin ingredients well stocked.
Mm-hmm.
And also there's a pile of notebooks somewhere that is just there, probably gathering moth at this point, if Sybil hasn't touched it. But Bal is making sure that everybody... What?
Certainly has.
Yeah. So Bal is making sure that that those resources that are also like fringe to are also stocked up, especially since this is a bigger city. It'll be easier to find the good quality equivalents for all of this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're not going to go far, but I think I need to be on land to see if I can get that sense again, and know how far we may have to travel.
Sure. Should we bring Fang?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, Fang.
Yes.
We're gonna go into the woods and see if we can find some the location of Kale's weird feelings. Do you want to come with us?
Sure.
Okay.
Not in an emotional sense, more in a
Oh,
magical
no.
sense.
Like
Magical
a literal. Yeah, you were busy. We'll fill you in. Don't worry.
Oh, yes.
Sounds good.
Weird, like magic had shifted and something broke kind of feel. It was weird. I don't know.
Like an earthquake, if an earthquake could travel through the air and only through magic. If that makes any sense.
A magical airquake. Okay.
But it came from this direction, and so we're gonna see if we can figure out kind of vaguely where it came from. So,
All right. Yeah, I'm in.
unless you have duties as a receptionist.
I haven't been assigned anything yet.
Mm.
I'll just be on standby with regards to that. So I'm with you.
Okay.
Oh, on that topic, the crew also would get paid.
Okay.
Fong is the only one of us that's crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody would, because of the way that ships work, they would be given essentially an allowance to be able to go off ship to like drink, eat.
We get a
stay.
per diem. Damn.
You do.
Yeah.
We don't. But...
This is how ships used to work. Like you got paid
Yeah, they
when
were.
you docked, and then
Yep.
you would go to spend it all.
Yep. So how much do you think you pay them?
Well, if you said rum was like 10 to 50
Yeah.
gold
Depending
clips.
on the quality.
I think based on how much money we have, and what our crew is, 30 people.
Yeah, and which, by the way, rum is going to be more expensive than wine because it requires sugar cane versus various other types of sugar. So that is, even the cheap rums are a little bit more high end.
Yeah. How much would you say the equivalent of like a day's work is? Or like not a day's work, but like an in-stay.
An in-stay is probably going to run you between 5 and 10 clip.
Okay.
A bottle of wine is going to start around 5 or 10 clip as well, and go up severely from there depending on what it's made from and where it comes from. So like your average berry wines that can be made from anything locally are going to be a lot cheaper than, say, fine wine from Venia or something like that. But most like really basic inns, fairly cheap, about 5 clip, okay inns that don't make you stay 5 people to a room and there aren't beds are going to be somewhere around 10 clip and up from there, depending on how fancy you want to get.
I'm gonna need to ask you how much money we had in general before the last delivery.
Do you keep it as notes of value, or do you keep it as like clip coins in a chest?
As I keep it as just clips, like
Okay.
a numeric value.
You would have gotten a note of value for the first ship that you sold, because remember there were 2 river ships.
Right.
Of 2,000 clip worth that you would have been able to eventually, like, gradually just redeem for various coin. You also probably had somewhere around 500 or 600 clip worth of just deliveries that you've made, but also factor in any other payments that you would have given the crew since then.
That I'm trying to keep that in mind, because if we make about 600 or 500 per delivery and everybody gets paid at a reasonable amount, then we would be in the red. We would not be making enough. So I think I'll give everybody about 15 clips,
Okay.
which is not a lot.
Yeah.
But it's enough that we still have a profit from the delivery that we just did.
Okay.
So that would be Fang would get 15 clips, and then I have to remove 450 from. Yeah. I'm going off of the idea that it's a crew of 30. I don't remember if that's the. I think
you got a crew of 20 because of the number of like non-workers / just general party members that are on there. Because it is a fairly small schooner, because it is meant to be able to go up and down the river in addition to coastal travel. So it can probably usually be crewed by a small number of people up to about 20 or 30 people, and you probably have about 20, one of which is a baker and does not do other sailing things.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll still give all of them 15 clips. I think I would want to give them more, but we're not really making enough to be spending that much money every time we dock. So
and this is why you're the economist.
Yeah, which also off the top of my head, just as a general call as the GM, if you need to reduce numbers because you decide to move away from doing deliveries and making regular money, you would probably be able to get away with maybe a crew of half that size. So that there are shifts being taken.
I think Bal's mentality is on the day that Sybil and Kale and Fang and Varen start pulling their weight, there's an opportunity to let go of some people and decrease the expenditures. Yeah. But as long as these two are moochers, these four are moochers, then I
don't know what you're talking about.
So. Hey, I took a shift in the crow's nest.
That is true.
Yeah. I haven't burned down the ship yet. And you should be happy about that.
That is basically that is not even the bare minimum.
There was at least one time that there was a risk of that.
Yeah, actually, we hired a specific person to make sure that your fires don't get out of hand. So you're actually you're costing me money.
Yeah, and it's Varen. That's Varen's job now.
Anyway, we still have solid money. Even after
you still have a little bit of money.
How long do you think you'll be, Val, with all of this?
I think like an hour or two? Yeah, maybe more.
Hour or two at most.
I'm considering
because you guys make so many coastal stops, because it is not like you go for long sails. You guys are generally kept topped up. The one thing that really is at risk of going low at any point is always fresh water, because you can only carry so much, especially with everything else that you have to carry in the size of the boat. So
the more personal resources we have, the less we can actually get from trade, which makes less money.
So it's just basically generally speaking, most of your resources are going to be fine, and you know that. It's the fresh water and any new fresh food, which you only used 2 days worth in this most recent trip. So you'll probably be fine, but also, how stocked do you want to make it? If you guys are going to be traveling on land, you don't know if you're going to be traveling on land, you have no idea of your current direction.
Yeah, but I'll restock the ship in general, however much that normally would cost, to make sure that everybody in the crew and add-ons are well fed and cared for. At least as far as the beginning, as far as the following dock, because the assumption is that we're gonna then start sailing back north. From what I remember, this is the lowest point, right?
This is the lowest major port.
Yeah.
There's probably one other small portside or like seaside town a little bit further down, but this is going to be the only major port of call and major trade that you'll get this far south, because Polyerna is the most southern of the formerly seven, now 6 city-states.
Cool. Then I'm going to just spend whatever amount of money is required to stock up on new trade merchandise, as well as stocking food and basic necessities and water and all that.
Okay. All right.
We don't have to calculate that now if you don't want to.
No idea at the moment.
I also think instead of
I still have
off to the woods
a
and be,
lot of money, so
if you're only going to be an hour or so, we might just wander the market and then come back, and we'll all go to the woods.
Which I would like to point out, you are not near woods.
Yeah,
we're just trying to find a green space. Like we're going to
just any kind of.
Yeah, you would be able to find a green space, but actual woods, actual forestry, you guys are far from right now.
Yeah, but like, I honestly, Paul, I think I will have a better chance of finding that signal again if we have a circle of at least 4, like we've done before. So if you can join us as soon as possible, we'll perhaps get some things for a picnic afterwards. Have dinner off the ship.
I just got to finish inventory and then
absolutely. If you see that park over there, I think that's where we'll be.
All right, I'll head on over as soon as I'm done.
Let's go get the stuff for a picnic.
Okay, so you guys go ashore, passing the dock and trade section. It is kind of as loud as you would expect a active dock in the middle of the day to be. There is a nearby market because of how close it is to the docks. And once you get past where all of the ships are, you enter what are essentially cobblestone streets, and looking down at it, just like there are beautiful patterns to a lot of the sails and to the not really awnings, but fabrics that are stretched for shade across several of the exterior portions of the buildings. There are patterns to the cobble. It is very carefully laid so that it creates a almost mosaic effect, just with stone instead of tile or glass. It is colorful. There's buskers even this far out by the docks, playing a variety of instruments, all very wearing very kind of loose, flowy clothing, so very in line with what Kale would like. Couple of basic cafe type tavern shops that are nearby enough for merchants and or the sailors that work for them to eat at, and then a decently sized market square that you'd be able to find a variety of things in.
Do they have a famous drink or beverage of some kind?
Not that you've heard of. You could ask around, but you were very, very much in Icenbridge and did not really travel outside of Icenbridge. And you guys have maybe traveled as far down as Polyerna once in the couple of months that you've been sailing, and it was just to make a quick drop and run.
I'm quite glad we actually got to see more of the city this time. I quite like it here. It's very decorative.
I like to imagine that you look back and Sybil is just eating a cookie and you do not know where it came from. Right. And Sybil has not brought any money with her whatsoever. But she's like, yeah, I know, and it's real. The food is really good here too.
Yeah.
I'm glad we actually get to spend some time here this time.
Yes.
Although I wish we were closer to the more greenery. It's weird having this many. Fong, where are you from?
A bit up north, but yeah, it's really pretty here.
But just
I'd like
more like buildings or trees? I'm used to trees. This is kind of weird for me.
I mean, I'm used to like a little bit of water. I mean, I haven't been on a lot of big boats, but just some water here and there, you know.
How very vague, but
Yeah, that was really vague.
thank you for that.
Just some
Um,
water.
Yeah, just some
I am
water.
absolutely itching to get off of these cobbles, though. It's very good to be back on land, but I need to feel some grass.
Correct. That park that we went to. Well, I guess we didn't actually get the chance to. Okay.
The park that you went to when you met Varen was in
That was a different
Karthok?
place, wasn't it?
It was a
Yeah,
different place.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was in Karthok. Because
We just spotted a green
Var-
space from
yeah,
the ship and went, let's check that out.
Yeah, Varen had gotten all the way up to Karthok, so you guys were actually in some of the wooded areas of Karthok on a riverside town. So that was, a good month and a half, 2 months ago, according to Sybil and Kale. So, yeah.
I miss trees. I miss trees and I miss grass and I hate water so much and I don't want to go back on that boat.
Well, what do we want to get?
So
What is
Polyarna
good to eat?
Yeah, Polyarna is an agricultural center for the entire collective of Tritonus Reach. So
Please.
you'd be able to find a variety of vegetables, fruit, grains, breads, meats, poultry, fish, because you're right by the water as well. So it's
We are putting a picnic together, a real nice one.
Charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board and a nice red wine.
oh,
Charcuterie board, a nice red wine. We'll get some rum for Ball.
do you have money?
It doesn't. That's not what I said.
And it's one of those things of I am not going to require you to track your money as closely as Joel is for Ball, because Joel enjoys that part of it. But do you have money, or are you attempting to acquire items in other fashions?
Sybil does not have money.
Kale has a small amount of whatever they took from their house, but it's quickly running out. So we don't have a lot of money.
Okay.
Fong just got paid and also was able to acquire some money the night before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Kale's like, let's go for picnic. Also, you're buying.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, since you are controlling the money, are you letting them pick for you, or are you picking random items yourself?
They can pick.
Okay.
Fong, I mean, I think he's a little overwhelmed by the options. I feel like maybe this being such a hub of so many different foods that he hasn't experienced.
Okay.
He's like, okay, yeah, go ahead, and he'll like take his little coin purse out, which is a little bulging by contrast from last time.
Oh, we paid you
That's
really
very generous, Fong. Thank
Yeah.
you. I only have, and Kale will take out a small handful of clips and be like, I had enough to get us some bread and maybe a little cheese, but I think with your contribution, we should have quite a nice spread.
Yeah.
As long as you guys don't care, I can just. Well, no, we're going to be here a couple days.
Yes. I Sybil and I don't need to eat, but it is quite nice sometimes to try new flavors.
So, if you're looking for bread and cheeses and then a variety of other charcuterie board type items, there are a number available, because a good half of Polyarna is utilized for cattle farming. So they have a number of both cow milk cheeses, and then you also find some specialty goat cheeses from a different area of the city-state. A lot of those are also mixed with pepper. So, like, there's a variety of pepper jellies and specialty pepper-infused cheeses.
Nice. If there's any kind of tea shop or spice shop, I might try and do some bartering. Because Kale has brought with them some dried mushrooms, I'm sure, from
Okay.
Isenbridge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
See
yeah,
what I can get from that.
Because it is a very different type of plant matter than can be grown here, because very different environments than can be found in Isenbridge, especially with the delving that you did for your items in the caves and such. You would probably be able to get a really good deal on whatever you want, because
Nice.
this is the type of stuff that has to be like imported. So you're bringing
Cool.
specialty import spices to a local apothecary type shop.
Yeah, so that's Kale's contribution to the picnic then, is instead of spending their last few clips, they're going to barter some of their tea.
Easily, yeah.
Cool.
So you're able to
They
collect
picked and
a good-
dried.
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys are able to find a fairly decent collection. We'll say that you spent probably about, with the bartering added into it, maybe 10 or 13 clip.
And then let's make them beeline for that park. And as soon as we get there, Kale has put on some like thin slippers just because they're walking on the cobblestones and it's kind of messy. But the second that they are near the grass, they are going to kick those off and run and like literally roll in the grass. They're like
Okay.
throwing themselves on the ground and rolling around like a dog.
So the first green area that you would find is something akin to a park. It has a lot of taller grasses because of the type of environment that is down here. It's a lot more like tall, reedy mesa type grasses, but a number of climbing. This is summer, so climbing greenery that seems to have little bunches of berries on it, and some fairly leafy shrub, almost trees, and then stretched between the buildings to give the area some shade are also giant triangles of somewhat thin fabric that help to provide some measure of shade for those lounging in these outdoor public gardens, essentially.
Is it sunny out today, or is it still raining a little?
It's overcast. It's a little drizzly. It's not like storming, but it's overcast.
Yeah, I'm
So
causing a
there's not a
scene.
lot of
I'm
people there.
fully diving to the ground and like
Getting
lying on my
covered in-
back.
Yeah, getting covered in
Yeah,
mud
getting
because
covered
it
in
did
grass.
storm recently.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah.
oh boy.
So there's, because it's still overcast and drizzly, there's not a lot of people out. You have the majority of the space to yourself. There is the occasional strange look, and a couple of them make like weird hand gestures as they pass, but yeah, no one comes up and tries to stop you.
No, generally you avoid the crazy people in the park.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just, kind of a casual day, and it's a very pretty outdoor, like, public garden that you guys have found. Are you going to try and set up the, like, whatever blanket or whatever you've got, like, in a semi-clear area?
Yeah, I feel like we'd probably do it within sight of the ship. Right? Like,
the
can
ship
we
is
see
at
the docks
a
from here?
There, like, you could see where it would be from where you guys are, but like there's the docks and the
Buildings
various
in the way, yeah.
warehouses and like cattle yards and everything. So while this would be easily navigated to, actually seeing your ship specifically, not so much. You can see ships. Your ship specifically, no idea.
That's fine. So we can just make ourselves visible. Like we're in the middle of a park being weird. So
Being weird and loud.
we can be found easily.
You are fairly obvious and stand out.
Yeah.
Just through behavior, even though there are some oddly colored people and oddly shaped people, you do definitely stand out just from your behavior.
Yeah, after rolling, Kale will just lie on their back, like spread eagle on the ground and stare at the sky and be like, this is what I needed. It's so good to be on Earth that does not move under one's feet.
Yeah, I don't think I realized how much I was going to hate that. It's really nice.
It is nice to have some stability, but it's kind of nice having a job too, which I hadn't really experienced. So
I like ever.
yeah,
I've never had
kind
a
of.
job, so that's not super weird.
Yeah, but
It's very satisfying having work that you enjoy.
yeah,
Do you enjoy it? You're just
so far, I mean, I answered a stone.
true, and you're probably, hopefully, gonna have to do that again at some point pretty soon. Because I did talk to Yulin and my sister, and they're hopefully gonna call us in the next couple of days. So
Okay, yeah, I'll be ready.
great. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sybil's just
Kale will
weird.
sit up and brush themselves off a little bit, and then join you on the. Before they join you on the blanket, they're going to take off their robe, which is now covered in mud and like bits of grass, and they'll take in a really deep breath and then blow on their robe a big jet of steam
Mm-hmm.
from their mouth, and the dirt from the robe will it's just gone. It's still wet, but all of the dirt is left.
There's a couple of
And then they'll
stains.
tuck it
Like
back.
it's
Yeah.
not like you
Fine.
have like a I don't know, a dry cleaners in your mouth.
No, I can't get rid of grass stains, but I can, talk to the earth and tell it to take off.
But yeah,
It's
so
very
there's a
handy.
couple of like grass stains and mud stains, but for the most
Yep.
part, like the chunks and like actual filth that had been on it and like the bits of plant matter that had gotten on it, you do manage to get off.
Yeah.
So
And they'll redress themselves, kind of tidy up a little bit, do the same to their hands
yeah.
so they don't have muddy hands,
Yeah.
and then arrange themselves on the picnic
Yep.
spot.
So at what point do you think that you would be joining them? Well, do you have the intent to actually join them?
Yes.
Okay.
Bal is what we in Puerto Rico call flavorless right now. It's so-so, which is it essentially means that they took the seasoning out of you.
Aw.
So she's gonna finish what she's doing, and then she's gonna meekly walk over to join the.
So I
to
have a
join the
question.
party. Yeah.
Do you bring all of your artifacts, including the calling stone, with you, or do you leave the majority of them on the ship, or like what's the plan there?
I have my artifacts are on my person,
Mm-hmm.
which is the ball of holding.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, the ball of holding is in mine. That would be in the ship as well.
Okay.
So I would be leaving that and the calling stone are
Okay.
in my cabin hidden.
Okay.
And then I have the bell, and the amplifier on my person.
Okay. And the puzzle box?
I think that would be in a safe in my cabin,
Okay.
in the captain's quarters.
I wanted to. It's not a be suspicious of the GM. I just
Oh,
wanted
I
to
know.
see
Yeah.
how big of a random amount of
No.
stuff you're bringing with you.
No,
Because you're getting to a decent amount that you would be hauling around on your back.
no.
I am suspicious.
I still just have my one like satchel bag.
Okay.
I have just the amplifier and the bell box in there.
Okay.
And like a couple of other miscellaneous things, like a bottle of rum or some. Oh no, I ran out of jerky, so probably like like a crumpled up muffin or something.
Okay. Sounds good.
I would also. Oh, also, I have my one captain's inventory, like a copy of the inventory of the ship that I don't actually do. I have other people do for me, but I carry it with me just so that I can keep track of the ship's finances.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So as you head there, give me a navigation check.
I am good at sailing.
You are not currently sailing. You're trying to figure out
Natural 20.
the general direction that they said they were going to
Good
go.
God.
With a natural 20, easily, you're just like, okay, this is the market where they would have to buy stuff. It looks green down that street. I'm just gonna head that direction, and you happen to find them, partially through luck. But yeah, so easily, and you see them just kind of settled underneath an overgrowth of like berry-laden vines that are going up along what seems to be a wrought iron pergola, maybe, that helps to support it instead of it having to climb on buildings.
We love a pergola.
Yeah. And
Do love it.
it's still overcast, it's still lightly drizzling, but they are settled in. They've got food.
We're not causing chaos for
They
once.
are not causing chaos, though
I
they
thought
are
about
getting
it.
the occasional weird look from people.
Used to that.
I don't know if they used their banked nat 20.
Oh no.
Was it given to a
I
specific person?
They do roll over, yeah.
They do roll over.
I still have my nat 20 banked from last session.
Yeah. Was it given to a specific person, or was it just to whoever needs it?
It was just to whoever needs it, wasn't it? No,
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Oh, if
Did
it's
not
not
write
written
it
down
down.
like mine is, haha, screw you guys.
I don't went to ball because you were doing all of the dangerous things.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it went to whoever needs it, it wouldn't have been used yet. If it went to a specific person and they didn't write it down, then unfortunately
It has been lost to the ether.
Lost to the
Yeah, if they,
Did we
if
say
they
the
don't
same thing?
track it, yeah. If they
We
don't
did.
track it, they don't keep it. But
So there's one out there banked for whoever needs it.
yeah, for
Cool.
like emergency situations.
I'm gonna use it for crime.
Yeah, but yeah. So you would you are
I thought you said
aware-
crying.
Crying?
maybe.
That
I was
too.
like, I'm gonna use it for crying.
Yeah. But yeah, so you are aware enough of your surroundings and the way that people interact with each other to know that you guys are getting some weird looks, and they seem to just, for the most part, be giving them a wide berth. Like no one else is there, though it is not exactly the type of day that you want to go and linger in a park anyway. A specific not 20 for Sybil. I really need to remember to go in and adjust stuff. I keep mentioning that every single session, and then like the one time that I went in, I got distracted because of the dog.
Can't I just do this right now?
Thanks, Ollie.
But anyway, so you are about to join them, and we will come back from break with you guys meeting together in the little park outside garden thing. But yes, so we are going to take a break, get up, stretch your legs, get some fresh water, do whatever it is that you need to do, and we will be back shortly.
Get a charcuterie board.
Bye bye.
With a charcuterie board?
welcome back, Echoes. We are returning with episode 5 of Empyrean Wilds. We're so far in already. And about to have a picnic on a somewhat overcast, drizzly day in a public garden of a city that they have not done a lot of visiting to previously. But yeah, so Bal, you're probably just joining them now. They're getting settled. Shopping took a little bit of time, and then rolling around in the grass for Kale also took a little bit of time. So you will notice that Kale's robe is currently not on them and is kind of set to the side and a little dirt and grass stained.
Maybe we, I don't know, played soccer or something. We can roll around in dirt.
Sybil clocks you walking up and just is doing exactly the same thing as before, of just like turning slightly, and is just very pointedly going to start like, so Fang, you're from somewhere with right? Water. That's really cool. Let's, do you know any names of rivers? I don't know. I how people have conversations. just trying really hard not to even look at Ball.
Can Fong pick up on that vibe?
Possibly. You can roll for it if you want, but possibly.
Sure.
I think someone across the park could pick up on that vibe.
I got a 14.
Yeah, so it's pretty obvious.
So I was like, so what do you like to do in your spare time? Really? That's cool.
Cards. We should play together sometime.
Yeah, let's play. We should play cards.
Yes.
I don't know how to play cards in general. Sure. Okay.
It's okay. Usually the places are really willing to teach you.
Places. There are places where you can go and play cards?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
You bring a little bit of some clip there, and then you might walk out with more.
Kale, do you have any money?
Not especially.
A shame.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
I take it everything's all right with the ship?
We're
Excellent.
going to be restocked by the morning.
Right. Well, we better do what we can to center ourselves before then. Please have some food first.
What? There's food?
Oh yes.
Oh, sorry. I asked the player. Did not remember those.
There's a whole
Yeah.
charcuterie board.
There's a charcuterie board.
I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna sit down just a little bit of ways, and then I'm gonna reach over with my tentacle and grab some food.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's fairly awkward. But yeah, of the three of them that need to eat, only one of them needs to eat, or of the three of them that went, only one of them needs to eat. But yes, they did get picnic foods.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this has returned to normalcy, and the majority of the party needs to eat now instead of these weird.
You're being like, did we feed Ball today? Maybe we should.
Yeah, I
feed her
don't like
something."
being the pet.
But yeah,
It was your turn to feed Ball.
But yeah, they provided food. It's actually very, very nice, and there is even some red wine as one of the available items. But a couple of pepper jellies, some like little pepper pieces, like vegetable peppers, not like peppercorn, pepper infused goat cheeses and other things with fruit and vegetables and whatnot. So it's a nice little spread.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna eat one thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Specific is I was offered food, and so I don't want to insult them by not taking any.
Okay.
But Val is also absolutely not hungry,
Mm-hmm.
so she's just gonna take one little bit and then like a sip of wine
Okay.
and do that thing where she's holding the wine like she's been
Yeah.
drinking it for a long time,
Oh,
but it's probably been empty
Kale's
forever.
Kale's senses are activated, and they're like, "Oh, try this. It's very nice." And they point to one of the pates that they haven't tried because they're mostly sticking to the vegetarian food.
All right, and I have a bite.
And they'll slowly coax you to eat something.
Yeah, it goes really well with this fruit here.
I'm sure it does. Let's try it.
Yeah, Sybil, would you mind passing some of those grapes?
Like passes to them without even remotely looking up. She is just like, like just flipping through a notebook, and she's gotten to the end of the pages where they are just fully blank, and she's like, for sure, yeah.
Evie, do I have any of the snacking mushrooms from Deep
Oh,
Fever
no.
on me?
Oh no!
Should I roll for luck?
I'm
Roll for
pretty sure
luck
we.
because
I
they
think
are
I'm
they
trying to
do they are
lubricate the
yeah,
situation.
they are like preserved, generally
Yeah.
speaking, in the little vinegar sauce that they make for them. So
16.
yeah, I'll say that you've got a small jar of them.
All right. And I look around, I see the awkwardness. I see that Ball and Sybil are both like ramrod
Mhm.
straight, I imagine. And I'll be like,
Refuse to look in each other's direction.
right. You know what? Just a moment, and I'll like open up Pico, the teapot, who's asleep still, and reach in and then bring out a little pot of something
Mhm.
and put it in the center of the picnic and be like, have one of those, Val. Sybil, you should have one too. And Fang, if you wish, they are slightly hallucinogenic if you're not used to them, but they're very nice.
Yeah, I
Are
would
these
also
the
like
things-
to remind the player that Val was not present when you guys went and had this meal because
true.
that was like episode 3
Yeah, Val
of
wasn't there.
Empyrean
That was a
Rising.
long time ago.
It was
Only
a
Sybil
very, very
remembers.
long time ago.
But I have warned everyone that they're hallucinogenic, so
Yes, you have.
I think before you even say they are hallucinogenic, Sybil like looks in and clocks what it is and grabs like a couple, more than you should probably.
Handful?
Not a
Ooh.
handful, but like 2 or 3. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
maybe one more than you probably should
a
do. And
good,
it's just like
solid hit.
pops them in her
Which
mouth, and
these
it's
are
just like
generally served as like a bowl of them to a person. So
Yeah.
it's just that if you are not used to them, they can have some
They're
secondary
bar
effects.
snacks.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah,
I-
it's just, have you built up the immunity to it yet?
I've been offered it. I don't think Val was actually paying enough attention to what was being said, so I don't think she realizes this is what it is.
Cool.
So I will in the same with the same energy as all the other things that she's tried. She's just gonna reach over and be like, "All right, sure."
Yeah. So, Fang, are you also partaking
Yeah,
of
let's go.
the hallucinogenic
Of course.
vinegar sauce mushrooms? Okay.
Yes.
Hell yes.
So
Episode 5. Let's do some drugs.
Kale says
I'll-
this is weird. Everybody get high.
yeah. So
Yes.
other than
So ready for a bad trip.
other than Kale, who developed an immunity to them when they were probably in the single digits, everyone go ahead and give me a might defense roll.
Please fail.
Is there anything?
Did you
that
roll
I'm
an out one?
good at?
Of course you did.
Did you? Ugh.
You
You're
took
gonna
a big
have
hoot.
time.
One big
All right,
hit.
Let's see. I got a natural 20.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Damn
That,
it!
that kind of tracks though with your lack of need to eat.
I hate
Yeah.
it here.
Oh no, you're doing the Captain America can't get drunk anymore.
Oh
now.
no.
Oh.
This is so sad.
You can drink
Fang?
yourself a drunk.
Got a 17.
17. So you're also fine.
Oh.
Like, it doesn't like get fully blurry, but you can feel that there could be an effect. Maybe you just didn't eat enough, but there's not really a lot there for you to have been warned about. Sybil, you also didn't experience a strange situation eating these the very first time, and you remember that. It was just Jax talking about the strange colors and like pawing at the air. Bal, with a nat 1, you're chewing on it. You're chewing on it. And the melody that you always just faintly hear at the back of your perception just kind of seems to weave in and out of the really, really nice colors that the greenery around you has turned into. It's a little blues and purples and some reds, and it's nice. It's a really mild trip because it's not like strongly hallucinogenic, but like you see people vaguely glowing and things are just slightly blurry and they turn interesting colors. Very suddenly, it takes it a couple of it takes it like a minute or so to hit you, but with a nat 1, the hallucinogenic properties started to absorb from from your mouth, from like the soft tissue in your mouth even, before you even started digesting it, because maybe you're just sensitive to it from not having experienced it before. But yeah, with a nat 1, it's just like, oh wow, this is unexpected. But like the colors seem to shift and blur in tune with the music that you hear. So it's not like it's unpleasant, it's just very unexpected.
I think there's a whisper of I can see the music, and then I just collapse onto my back and just
Watch it flow.
and just disappear into whatever the fuck I'm looking at.
I give you a little pat on the shoulder and I'll be like, just relax into it.
I don't know why you think that these things do anything. They never do anything for me.
They never do anything for me either.
Her tentacle twitches slightly every couple of seconds.
Is she gonna be okay?
I think she's quite okay right now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Do we need to do
Let's just relax for a while. I think we've all had quite a busy time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty.
Yeah. It's
Fang,
beautiful.
you're fine too?
Yeah, I'm
You don't
feeling
see
good.
anything? I want to see the things. So it keeps happening.
Some people have a natural immunity, others have to build it up.
Can I?
You could have some more if you really want.
Take another hit.
Yeah. She'll grab another like a probably an actual like handful at this point. Be like,
Okay. Make another roll.
it's a 19.
Sybil is just completely immune to
Capable
these.
of being high. Oh my
This is
god.
amazing.
Damn.
I just imagine Sybil getting madder at Balder for actually feeling something. Like this motherfucker.
I had 1. You've eaten like 12.
One. And Sybil just like puts her head like face in front of Balls and is just like, hello? Anything? Are you
Hello.
what do you see?
Well, right now I can see you. And also you.
There's
And also you.
there's a bunch of me? Or
Unfortunately, yeah.
oh see, that's cool. That's cool. That's a thing that I wanna see. Oh my god, this is so.
Your hair's really pretty. You know that, right?
What if you can only eat things that come from dreams?
I haven't tried to do that.
I
I haven't dreamt about this either. Oh, don't call me pretty. That's weird. Sibel's just like,
I'm seeing colors, and you have a weird colored hair.
it probably does
Yeah.
look really cool.
Yeah,
It's like,
oh, yeah,
actually
actually.
prismatic
It's just
and,
like glowing different rainbow effects.
yeah. Just like, don't be weird. Just like slaps at you your hand. Imagine it's just your hand like
It's the tentacle just starts like snaking up like.
stop it. No, we have talked about this.
So pretty.
I mean, I can try and dream about these, but
Maybe after we've done our whatever. I don't know quite how to attune myself to find this, but
I
I
don't
figured
think
getting everyone relaxed first would be a priority.
I'm so relaxed now.
No, you're not.
Give me a moment. I'm just center myself, feel
Shut
the
up,
earth for a
ball.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carol will go once their shoes they've kicked off their shoes. They're gonna go stand in the grass,
Okay.
kind of dig their toes in a little bit, and just close their eyes and turn their face up to the rain and just see if they feel anything.
Okay. Roll me a general sixth sense type of check. It
You have
wouldn't
a-
necessarily be luck because you're trying to track a sense,
Right.
a sensation that you've had before.
Right.
So it's like if you have training in magic or other things that might be able to assist you with determining the location or general vibe of it, let me know. But right now you're looking at a difficulty 7.
Do
Oh, yeah,
remember,
that's right.
remember that I also am giving you a free asset of once a day for perception, and also just a free asset for whatever you need.
Cool.
This
I'm
is
also
kind
gonna.
of an
Don't know if
aware-
this applies to
it's
this.
kind of an awareness thing, so I'd let you use that. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that find the way would apply because it's not like a physical landmark.
You did see a location in the dream. If you're trying to find
Okay.
that specifically, you just don't
Cool.
know if the dream relates in terms of location to what you felt.
Gotcha.
So
So this
it's
is
two kind of scenarios that you could try to pull from.
all right. If we apply effort to a navigation task because you don't know the way, are lost, or attempting to find a new route, or etc. So I don't know if that would apply.
If you are trying to find where the dream took place, then yes. If you are just
Sure.
trying to get the general vibe of that weird thing you felt, then no.
All right. Let's see where the dream took place. I'm just gonna kind of cast around in my mind and see if there's anything that would feel like that. And
Okay.
I've got one free effort from that. I've got balls, free ease, and I'll put 2 effort on that. So that brings it down from 7 to a 3.
Okay. All right, and then you're.
So that's 9 or better.
Okay. Make your roll.
That
I'm
is a
looking at
12.
the map and trying to
Yeah.
triangulate where you guys are versus where it would be.
Mark down my effort.
All right. So whereas previously you had been going in the approximate direction of southeastish from that initial sensation of something is wrong to the south/southeast, attempting to sense the direction of where this place, this event that Pico dreamed of, happened.
Right.
It is not quite due east.
From where we are, because we're at the river in Polyurna, right? Just the head of the river.
No, Polyurna's main city is a bit past the river.
Okay.
So it's like if you look really closely at the map, there's the river head with the little islets that are off of it, and then there's a kind of slow slope of the coastline. Polyurna is approximately at the like curve of that slope.
Oh, okay. So, kind of there. So directly east from here towards the mountains?
Yeah, it's toward like the mountains kind of curve up. It's not quite due east. It's a little south, but not quite due east.
Okay.
Dewey.
Right. So Kale will take several minutes, like just sort of like swaying, looking up at the rain, like with her eyes closed and her hands out. And after a moment or two, I don't 100% sure of this, but I think the place that Pico dreamed of, that site of a battle, is east of here. Sort of, and they'll point where they think they sense things.
It's a little east and south. It's mostly east though, because like.
And probably inland, not down the coast. Yeah.
Because down the coast would be mostly south and only partially east.
Yeah. Likely a few days travel by land.
Easily.
Yeah. Of course, I'd pack for an expedition of 2 weeks just to be on the safe side.
Sybil is just stewing over the fact that Ball is having a good time. And every time that she giggles, I imagine Sybil is just like...
Canonically, the first time Val has had a good time since we all met.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys would be walking for a while if you walked there.
Yes? Is something funny?
No.
Is this...
She's probably seeing something interesting.
Normal?
Most wish it worked on me.
I do too. So I guess we need to go? We have to go...
Well, now that's a good question, because that is what Pico was dreaming of. But that's not necessarily the pull I felt before.
Sure.
Of whatever, I don't know, the wave, the earthquake in the air.
The earthquake.
Drink some water.
She just opens her mouth as it's raining.
So, I mean, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to try and do one of the we could try a tea ceremony, but I don't think Ball's going to be very helpful in this current state.
Right.
I wish I was in this current state, but
why don't maybe if you two can hold my hands and we'll try to, I don't know, I'll try to tune in again to whatever is out there.
We just leave Ball alone, like laying on the grass and just like hold hands around her.
Yeah, so
I feel
yours and Fang's hands are like just hovering over Bell's face.
Cool.
The tentacle just rises to try to boop it. You're like,
and I'll just try to open my mind and sense the pull if it's still out there.
Another sensing, or are you doing like a ceremony? You're just another sensing? Okay.
Let's do a sensing. We'll do the ceremony if we need to.
All right, so that is another difficulty 7. Do you have anything that you are able to add to it, or that you wish to add to it?
Not for this one, because it's more magical. I guess I have the aid of my friends, which will give me 1 asset.
You have the aid
I don't know.
For friends to aid, because they do not have helps their friends, they actually have to be trained in it. So are either of you trained in the supernatural? Or are either of you trained in magic?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm
So
rid of
trained
that.
in
if
researching and searching for clues.
we can claim that Varen is also here and followed Bal, because Varen is trained in magic and the supernatural.
Yeah. I could
Uh,
also use that bank nat 20 if we want to get some answers.
You could.
Would folks be into that?
You could. I think you should.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. I'll move some plot along.
All right.
I
So
see myself in real good.
you're using that generalized nat 20. So
Yeah.
we're marking
Thank
that
you,
off
Melissa.
of the list.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Roz. With that, because that is a major effect, you get the sensation of a spread of it more than a like singular ping on the map.
Ooh.
And it seems to arc from almost directly due south, southeast, or south by southeast, southeast, east by southeast, eastward, to almost again due east. So it's just this kind
Oh wow,
of
so that
line or arc from east to south. Yeah.
peninsula of
Yeah.
this continent.
Is just kind
Okay.
of where that strange sensation, that feeling of something starting to like wake and rumble came from.
Okay. For the effect of this too, I'm gonna say that like a gust of wind blows Kale's hair out, so it's kind of like dancing in
and-
the breeze, and their eyes fly open, and they're no longer human, like they're all just green and glowing, like they would be if they were in their guardian form.
Due
But
to your location.
They have not transformed.
Yeah, due to your location where you're sensing this, like physically sensing this, it's not just that wind rises. It's almost
It's
like,
also the Empyrean.
well, no, it's
I'm
almost
so
like
sorry.
you can
That was last
feel.
radical.
It's almost like you can feel the rumble through the ground because you're no longer on a ship. You can feel it through the earth. So it's that same semi-vibration of a semi-truck driving by or a large animal like trampling nearby. It's this just not quite a low-level earthquake level of rumble, and your feet go cold.
All right, as Kale's still holding your hands and their eyes fly open and they're glowing and green, they will rumble. Something has disturbed the earth. I can feel her pain, her discomfort.
Oh,
Go ahead
You're
and also
obviously-
give me another might defense spell to see how heavily
Snap out of
the
it.
effects you still are, because it doesn't last long
It's 6.
usually. 6.
Oh God!
But with a nat 1 and then a 6, yeah, you're still a little
Great.
tricky.
How
Have a
long
good
would
time.
you say we have been here so far?
Probably about 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah, 10
You're
to
You're already
15 minutes,
high
yeah.
AF.
Unconsciously, Val has started to activate her, what's it called? Her hour-long
Mhm.
ability. She doesn't know that it's happening, but she feels fluid right now.
So, what part of Val is she subconsciously changing?
I have no clue. I was going to put it on a randomizer.
Randomize.
oh my god.
All right, throw it on a randomizer. See
Nice.
what she's starting to change.
Let's see. Head, right leg. I don't know why I put it in that order.
Shoulders, knees,
And toes.
toes.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes.
I'm gonna need you to
Knees and toes.
randomize your
Knees and
toes.
toes.
Her tentacle apparently.
Oh,
Her tentacle.
can you
Yeah.
can you not
I thought
change
you
that
could,
one?
I thought you couldn't. That one you were born with.
I've I can change it into a different animal part. I just can't change it back into a normal arm.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it just can't turn back into
Okay.
a humanoid arm. It's
Right.
always some sort of aquatic creature because that is all that Bal can turn into.
Although I think it would be funnier if it's the other arm, though.
You just get two wobblies, two wobbly arms.
So she's turning this other hand into something.
Okay. So you
Cool.
see a slight discoloration to Bal's other arm because she doesn't have long sleeves or anything on. So you see a slight discoloration to it, but that's all that it really is so far.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, so it's a wide arc of awareness. Excuse me. Decently far away, but there, and it's this strange rumbling sensation and like a cold chill to your feet as all of this happens and the wind picks up and you see Kale's hair, like hair fronds, whatever, like fluff up slightly with the effect.
How is this one of the worst days that we've had?
That's saying something.
That's saying Sybil is having an awful fucking day. She's just like has her eyes closed, holding on to Kale and Fang's hands, just like it's fine, everything's fine.
I love Pico.
Pico's not even. Did we bring Pico? Pico's in the middle. Yeah. Kale, are you
Kale's still
back?
spaced
yet?
out, but they're starting to, their eyes are clearing and they're starting to come back around. But Pico's been sitting on their belts the whole time, just asleep.
Yeah, boss is
just
high
a
as fuck.
teapot hanging from Kale's
Yep.
belt.
Did you learn anything, or
Do we have a map?
I do.
Wonderful. Ball. Can I? Where is it?
On the ship.
Of course.
I can run grab it real quick.
I know. I'm trying to keep it in my mind. Hold on. And they'll try to like draw in the dirt with their claw and make like a rough idea of what they think the peninsula looks like.
Okay. Give me an intellect check
Cool.
to see if you
I
can
will
accurately
put an effort on this.
render the Trutinus.
Oh, 18.
Okay, yeah. The Trutinus Peninsula, you managed to get fairly accurate.
Cool. I've been studying the charts.
Yeah.
And then I'll put like lines on to show the arc of what I felt.
Okay.
And be like, Sybil, do you have your notebook? What am I saying? Of course you have a notebook.
she like pulls out 3 or 4 different notebooks, and she's like, yes.
All right. Can you copy this before it all leaves my head, please?
Yeah.
It's covered in mud.
So, where are you drawing the arc?
Where you? So we're in that little curve.
Yeah, if you
to the
are
east
looking
of
at the
River's
area
mouth.
for Polyerna,
Yeah.
there's just this very gentle curve just after the river that bisects Polyerna. And like you are basically just on the coast right there.
Okay. And then you said my sense was it was from south all the way through the radius to about straight east of here.
Yeah, just about.
Okay. Would it have extended as far down as that second river out on the peninsula? There's like Polyerna, and then south of it there's a river that runs up from the mountains.
You don't know. Like you know that it's distant from where you are.
Right.
But you're basically just getting a direction. You don't have a solid location. It's not like you were using a dowsing on top of a map. It's just that direction.
So then I will draw lines to the east and south, and then kind of a dotted line around to connect the edges in a circle to make it like an arc. And I'd be like, I think
Is it
somewhere in
through,
here.
like, is it through like the grasslands and forests? Is it on the other side of the mountains? Is it the mountains? Like, I'm just trying to figure out where you think it is, other than just the direction.
I don't have a particular, because I sensed a swath, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
like
marking on
in the distance,
Just
in
literally
these
doing an entire
approximate
swath.
directions. Yeah.
From where they are, directly south, directly east, and then dotted lines to connect the two to be like, could be anywhere in here.
Okay.
So there's like a little pie slice with a little dotted line around the edge of like, it's somewhere in here is the affected area. I didn't feel like it was centralized anywhere, but that the effect is spread over a large area.
Val, as the only well-traveled person that has been this far south, because Fang has traveled just not this far south, please make an intellect check hindered by 2.
For being high as balls.
19.
Yeah.
Even high as vowels, you know that there's supposed to, they are drugged, if that helps, Rev. But hi, Rev.
Hi.
Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so, Val, even high as shit, oh, kitty cat, you know that there's a lot of sailor superstition of the forests beyond the mountains, which are pretty much in the direction that Kale was describing.
Oh, that's no good.
How so?
Beyond Mountain Bad is bad things are in the it's just like almost like trying to fight the high.
Mm-hmm.
There's that moment of like I need to not work. Do I even remember what it is, or am I too high to fucking know anything?
You know it's bad down there. You know it has something to do with like people like making land there and not coming back. So all of the sailor superstitions that go along with that type of area.
Oh yeah, no. There are people there that just eat other people. People that go there don't come back, so they get eaten.
Right.
They don't have to, just because they're. So do they go and not come back, or are they being eaten?
Yes.
They. Who? Why is that allowed?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's the gods. I don't know. Oh, don't.
I don't think
busy.
she's.
Well, when you are coming back down, we'll talk about what specific stories you might have heard and what is over there. I don't know precisely what the terrain would be like. I just know that it's there.
It's forest.
A forest?
Mm-hmm. Of trees.
As opposed to.
Can't be that bad then.
Mushrooms.
You've seen a forest of mushrooms then? Is that in the same place where there's people that eat people, or?
I don't know. But it could be.
Fang, have you ever heard of anything like this?
No.
Roll intellect. This is going to be how much you paid attention as a kid.
Okay.
So whatever you have that might affect that, let me
Where the fuck are you from?
I definitely feel
A
like
place with water.
being so
Yeah.
far like having been so far away and
Mhm.
also not super schooled,
Yeah.
I would probably have like some hindrances there.
Okay. So give me a roll.
Oh. I don't have any assets.
Yep.
Okay, that is a 9.
No
Good.
idea.
But that is
Good.
also my lucky number.
Oh,
So-
it is your lucky
right.
number. I hadn't even written
Hey.
that down.
It doesn't affect this one, but the next task is gonna be eased.
Yeah.
That
So
is so cool.
yeah, so your
Nice.
next task is lucky. Unfortunately, this one you have no idea what they're
knows?
talking about. You've not really heard of anything beyond Polyarna.
Mhm.
You were almost convinced even that Polyarna extended past the mountains, because you don't know of any settlement or name for anything beyond them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know,
That's
but
hilarious.
I might be able to ask someone.
Right. I think we'll ask Bal once she's feeling a little better.
I'm fine.
I'm sure you're quite fine right now.
Yeah,
I
you
am.
know that with how sensitive Belle seems to be to the mushrooms, that she's probably got another 15 minutes worth of this before she starts coming down, and she'll probably be very thirsty at that point.
Are these the mushrooms that make your stomach kind of upset, or is it fine?
A little bit sometimes, because of other stuff that I know Belle has encountered over time. Probably not going to affect her stomach.
Cool. But I'm going to see if I can get her to eat something.
Okay.
And then I'll force charcuterie on the rest of you as well. Like, please eat.
Oh, she's scarfing it down.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my
Finally.
god, these crackers are so fucking good, even though they're wet.
What happened to your arm?
Oh, this has always been like this. It just raises the tentacle.
No, we know about that one. It looks like you have a bit of a bruise on your other.
I do?
Yeah,
It looks purple like normal.
Yeah, it looks a little purple.
She's also seeing color. She fucking can't.
I mean,
It
yeah.
does actually
I mean, it
look
looks
a little
purple to
purple,
us.
though. Yeah, it does
I
actually
should-
look a little purple.
I'm just thinking color random.
Yeah, it does actually look a little purple, kind of purplish gray.
This is how.
Can I see your arm for a second?
What?
I'll look at it and I'll very gently. Does this hurt?
It's actually kind of squishy.
Can I put my arm down now?
Sure.
Squishy like in a bones way?
Squishy, like in something that doesn't seem to have a skeleton underneath way.
I think that if Kale gives any indication that it is not a normal arm, Sybil is like very begrudgingly like opening a notebook and starting to like take notes and flips to the like dog-eared section at the back that's just marked ball and just like add to the list of like I don't understand. It's like kind of just poking your arm with a pen.
I don't think Kale mentions it right away, but they will check on you in 5 minutes, and the squishiness has increased, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Like it takes a full hour to
Yeah.
change. So it's very gradual. It's starting to look strangely shaped, but hasn't gotten to whatever it's going to be yet.
Right, and at this point I'll be like, "Well, are you feeling all right?" All right. Drink some more tea, and have a little cracker and maybe some meat. Sybil.
She doesn't have any bones in there, does she?
Well, for now, but I think they're living.
Is it a mushroom thing or a her thing,
Hydrate.
do you think?
think it's a her thing. I hope. I don't know about how to get bones back.
Does she need bones? Fong, you still have all your bones, right? It's not a mushroom thing.
I think I do. Yeah.
Sybil's like poking at like her like knee and like her shin just to make sure there are bones in there.
I've never heard of the mushrooms dissolving anyone's bones before. And I point out that her other arm doesn't have bones. That's why it can bend
Yes.
backwards and like tie itself in a knot.
Yeah, and it's Gail, I do not know if I can do more months on a boat with Ball if she has 2 arms like that. I don't want to be mean, but I hate it so much.
It's perfectly natural for her.
It
To be-
is.
You would all technically know that my body does sometimes transform.
You just
Does-
change sometimes.
Because I had the crab leg that I then changed back to normal. But when we were at the end of this last campaign, she turned her arm into a crab pincer to show it off to the two little siblings.
I also assume you've done so like while we've been on the
Probably.
ship. Just changed some random things to look cool.
Well,
Just
that was-
can't do
must be okay, but yeah.
2 arms
Mhm.
that are squid arms. I can't do 2 of them.
She'll match now.
Is that better?
Symmetry.
She does very well with one tentacle arm.
Functionally, it's great. It's very helpful. I'm sure she's got like a lot of range of movement. She can grip stuff. Great. I don't have any problem with that. I just really hate it a lot for other reasons. And I don't want. Yeah, Ball. You doing okay over there?
Sybil's losing it again.
No, I'm not. I'm doing very well. I'm not losing it at all. Your arm is turning into something, and I just really want it to have bones in it.
Maybe it does. You don't know. It used to have some. Are we going
Maybe it's
to the forest?
maybe you don't need
with death
bones today.
and murder and cannibalism.
We have to pack.
Maybe.
First.
Yes, we would definitely need to pack for an expedition.
If
And
we
you'd have to
do-
find something for your ship to do while we're on land.
old ship sail.
We should also speak to Varen. I seem to remember her mentioning something about forests to the south.
Who's
Yeah,
there?
she's from here. Our other new crew member, the
Shadow, just move around,
girl, tattoos.
red hair.
Oh,
She watches me to make sure that I don't set things on fire sometimes.
I didn't remember her name. Sorry.
So, as you guys attempt to handle the very high
Angry.
Bal,
Angry.
are you going to be heading back to the ship? Are you going to explore the city more and let Bal just kind of walk it off?
Does anyone have any particular chaos they want to get up to?
I am high.
I mean, Fang would definitely would volunteer to keep an eye on Baal,
Mhm,
being the new executive receptionist.
mhm.
Why does the title keep changing?
Communications, Fang is
Good.
able to, receive messages because Baal is currently preoccupied. So
Yeah, you're the communications officer.
exactly, executive communications officer.
We should probably let Ball walk it off before we take her back to the ship.
Okay.
So her crew can see her high as fuck.
Okay.
Let's just walk around for a bit. Pack
So-
up what's left of the picnic and stroll.
All right, so as you pack up the picnic and start walking, and Polyrna is a beautiful city. It is very different from Isenbridge, but it is a beautiful city. like several of the walls have tile mosaic on the outside as just kind of a decorative element. The like streets are again that beautiful almost mosaic effect cobblestone. There are some streets that are a little bit more like packed dirt as opposed to the cobble, depending on the area that you are in. But it's very pretty. There's also like a lot of very colorful patterning to most of the fabrics and materials there. Lots of stuff like that. But walking around, it is a fairly quiet day due to the kind of overcast drizzle. People are going about their business. It's not stopping anyone necessarily, but it's just not a lot of lingering outside. And because it is a coastal trading city for them, it's like being strangers isn't drawing a lot of attention. Are you aiming for a particular location in the city, or are you just wandering?
Sybil wants to see if there's a bookstore. Like Sybil would be anywhere this big, she would be trying to find like an actual bookstore or a library or something.
Okay. Go ahead, and are you just looking out for it, or are you asking people?
She'd ask people.
Okay. In that case, you wouldn't need to roll. They would be able to direct you to one of the local bookshops, which isn't like a massive bookshop, or there is a fairly small public library that's further inside the city that you'd be able to navigate to if you can get everyone to cooperate long enough to go that far.
That is the question.
Yeah. At this point, Val would be starting to come down. You've got a tiny headache. You did roll a nat 1. But the colors are starting to fade back to what they should actually be. And you notice that your hand where the fingers are is starting to split because your arm was starting to split into 2 limbs. And you don't seem to have any bones in that arm.
Oh, bloody hell, I think my trip's gone bad.
Are you back?
Does this look normal to you?
I think it's in the process of changing to something.
I'm curious to find out what it was. What's happening? Where are we? I thought we were in the park.
Oh, we went for a little walk to clear our heads.
Oh,
I'm trying to find a bookstore. And I think we're pretty close. I don't know. The last guy that I asked was kind of vague, but
Oh, I also, once we're back on the ship, I need to tell you about a forest and a vision and look at your charts a little bit.
yeah, do you actually remember any of the things that just happened? Because you told us that there was a forest of people that ate people.
That's up to you.
no, I remember.
Oh,
It's-
good, good.
You're talking about the forest beyond the mountains to the south, right?
I think that's what she was talking about, right? I think.
That's what
Think.
Val was talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that go there don't return. Some rumors say it's cannibalism.
Okay. That's what Sybil is trying to find books on, is the
haunted
location to
forest.
the south where people eat people.
Okay. So you're going to, like, are you going to the bookstore, which is a little closer, or are you going to go to the small library?
Probably the library.
Okay. So heading further into the city, you see a street that seems to almost be abandoned with the complete lack of people there. And there is a strange, like, amount of greenery about halfway down it as you're passing. You've got maybe 4 or 5 streets left before you get to where the small public library should be.
Does that take us past the greenery?
It takes you past that street.
Kale might get distracted by the greenery.
Yeah, greenery out of place like that. I feel like
Yeah.
it seems like the academy kind of situation. You want to go and you want to go look at it?
Yes, if you don't mind. I want to. Let's see what's going on down here. I think it's on the way to the library.
It's not, but we can pretend it is.
Yeah.
I think for the duration, for the rest of the hour that I'm trying of the transformation, Bal is just gonna be staring at her arm and just following the green blotch in the edge of her vision that is Kale. So wherever Kale goes, Bal is just like a foot or two
Yeah,
behind.
so you're just absently following while staring at your arm.
Focusing on the
Flop,
transformation,
flop.
trying to figure out what the fuck I'm turning into.
All right. So note that it has to be an hour of focus to complete, otherwise it will revert itself, meaning that if you try to do something other than that and just kind of passively walking around, it will revert.
Oh no, she is 100% brain dead, staring at hand.
Okay. Fang, are
Unless
you
something happens.
going along with the little chaos duo?
Yeah, why not?
Good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as you like walk purposefully in that direction, you notice people starting to give you a very wide berth. And you're walking
Why are
down
they
this,
acting so weird here?
and like as you walk down the fairly wide street, you notice that the homes seem to have like partially opened doors or windows as if they had been vacated quickly.
Yeah, probably whenever whatever happened, people took off.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Go ahead and give me just a general perception awareness check as you get closer to this strange location of greenery.
2. I am trained at researching and searching for clues.
Yes, you
You
are.
also have 2 free answers from me, one for perception and one for whatever you want. That's once per day for both of those, each of you.
I want to use it, but I did roll a 12.
Okay. Are
17.
you... Okay, 17.
Nice.
All right. So with the what did you get, Kale?
2.
2. All right.
I am too busy.
It's a weirdly abandoned street. I mean, like, it doesn't look like it's in ruins or anything. Beyond whatever happened with the greenery is a little bit further away. Sybil, you notice that, like, there seems to be a section missing of the building that the greenery is against. Fang, you would notice that it is a perfect curve, as if from a dome or ball around the greenery that is starting to spread from where it is located. It looks almost like jungle greenery, very out of place for the area that you are currently in. Vines and ferns that are starting to kind of curl and crisp in the like exposed area that they are currently in, instead of having the shade of a tree. And Fang, with that, you would also notice part of a trunk of a tree propping up a portion of the missing piece of the building.
Okay. So, y'all, people running that are the plants taking over?
I don't think so, but this does look pretty similar to what happened at the academy. Just like a tree that is in a place that it should not be.
Well, it looks less like what you anticipate the academy ruins from the explosion to be, and looks significantly more jungly, like much more like, I don't know, the plants that were in the research center when you found Milo.
Right.
I'm trying to decide who I think, because typically I'd ask Varen to touch it. So who wants to touch it? You guys, none of you seem like the type.
Why is it splitting?
I would touch it.
Do you want to touch?
I'll be fine.
Do be careful, Fang.
Little
Yeah.
notebook.
Okay.
In fact, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'd like to send an intellect point to use my flamboyant boast, where I boastfully describe an act that I'll accomplish and then attempt it.
Amazing.
Just for
that's a
funsies.
thing you can do.
Yes.
All right. So
Amazing.
you're just like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
I'll be fine. I'll just go over and like I'll check the leaves and the fronds and everything.
I want some. Just take a cutting.
What are
Yeah.
you choosing to make contact with?
What looks the scariest?
Great.
It looks,
For sure.
It looks like ferns and some broadleaf plants, a section of a tree, some vines that are growing out from this perfect dome of greenery, and along the building. The ferns look a little crisped from having been exposed to sunlight prior to the storm. They're mostly green. There's a little bit of reds and purples mixed in with the leaf coloration.
Reds and purples, please.
Yeah, and
Also,
then
I am
there's
going
this like tucked at the back is probably the most dangerous looking plant. It's a little bit further into the curvature of the building that had been removed or somehow disturbed by whatever this is. It's kind of tucked as far into the shade as it can go. It's looks. Have you ever seen a pitcher plant?
Yes.
It looks kind of like a pitcher plant that is maybe 2 or 3 feet tall. Like the pitcher itself is like
Yeah,
2 or 3 feet
Ooh.
tall.
I am
want
going
that.
to spend an intellect point to give Fang a advice from a friend, which means you are trained on your next action. And I'm going to say, do be quick on your feet, Fang. The last time we saw plants like this that were magical in nature, they sort of like were animate and bit people or had sword edges.
May
So-
I also suggest part of that advice based off of
Yeah.
something that I'm remembering and you're not? The fronds of the ferns cause chemical burns.
Oh, right. Oh, and watch out for that fern. The last one we saw would burn your skin.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I'll
do
stay away
want
from the
one.
ferns.
If you're brave,
What?
I want one of those weird things.
Oh, don't injure yourself though.
But don't hurt yourself. But also, they're so.
I won't hurt myself. Don't worry. And
Okay.
I imagine like Fang starts wandering in and he'll see like the ferns, the fronds that cause the burns, and he'll give them a wide berth, initially aiming for the reds and purples until he spies the most dangerous ones that look in the back.
Good.
And then he heads over there to try to see if he can find like maybe a little section that he could extract.
Okay, so you are attempting to, initially at least, avoid the ferns that are said to be fairly dangerous to get to the pitcher plant.
Yes.
Okay, so as you do that, you give me initially just kind of a speed check to avoid brushing against anything that may be particularly dangerous.
Okay. I have a question for you. Would this difficulty be higher than 6?
No.
I would
It's
like
only
to
about a
use
5.
I'd like to use my pressing your luck. to automatically succeed without rolling.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Amazing.
I also trigger a GM intrusion.
Yeah. So as
Oh Lord.
yeah, as you like deftly just kind of skip over the ferns and like just touch down with your toes and then hop over another one, and you get close to this just absolutely massive pitcher plant that is like just tucked as far as it can back into the shade at the back. It's like this vibrant red and yellow, with the bottom of the bulb of the plant being this strange kind of purplish gray. You get there and it kind of shifts and moves with you making contact with some of the roots that are on the ground. And you look down, and that's not cobbled stone or anything. That is fully dark, rich dirt underneath. So completely different than what you had been walking on. And just like, wow, this looks really interesting. And you're about to try and get like a sample of it for Sybil, and you feel something snaking up your leg and starting to curl around it.
Cool.
And without being able to roll to avoid it, because it is an intrusion at this point, you feel one of the vines curling higher and higher and entrapping your leg. And you can't move that leg now. And we will come back next time as Fang is lifted into the air by one of the sentient plants that is in this small area of a circle.
I thought you got Jumanji, so this is actually better.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna get like teleported, and I was like, oh no.
Like, and he's gone.
We lost Fang
Good.
immediately.
Nah.
Cool. Good.
Nah, the plants and everything are already here.
Yeah. We don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, the plants and everything are already there.
We'll get a really good sample because we have to fight them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will.
Let's go.
Yeah,
You
guys
know
will
what?
be fine.
That's ideal.
You guys will be fine.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yes, so we will come back to that next time with Fang being like either tripped or lifted into the air. We will see what kind of movement it's able to achieve while holding on to a fully grown man, because that's a lot to have to lift into the air. But thank you so much to our lovely audience, and thank you so much to my wonderful players. I love you guys so much. You guys are great.
Thank you.
And yeah, so we'll find out what's happening. Let's go ahead and go around in the opposite direction, starting with Alina.
Hey everybody, I'm Alina. You can find me online at Alina Pete on most sites. It's also my website. It's got all the links to my work. I will be not streaming this Tuesday, but I believe the Tuesday after that, if you can join me on my channel, Where Geek Comics on Twitch, we will be doing Trash Heroes again, which is our silly D&D stream. It's homebrew. We've got some funky rules like fate points and black tokens, which are always fun. So come check it out. And that's all I've got going on these days, which is great because last month was stupidly busy.
Did a TED Talk.
I did a whole TED Talk.
Alina is so fucking cool. Alina is so fucking cool.
I'll post when the TED Talk's up. It's supposed to be up in like 4 or 6 weeks, somewhere like that.
Okay, very cool. Very
Wanna
cool.
watch
Very
this.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So Maggie.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I love going after Alina, the person who is super, super cool and does a bunch of stuff because my name is Maggie and you can find my socials in the chat, but you can't ever find me anywhere because I'm very busy in real life. So that's all I have to say. I'm here. Sometimes I get to play in the little, last week I got to play in the fairy tale fairy tale game that we also play here on Fridays,
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
and that was fun.
That was fun.
Or no,
I forgot to say I'm
not
usually in
last
that one
week?
too, but
I
I
don't
could not make
remember.
it last week.
Yeah,
It
was
wasn't last week.
It was last week.
Was it last week?
Yeah, it was
I
last
have
week.
no
Yeah,
concept
it
of time.
wasn't. It wasn't like this recent Thursday. If we're counting like
Yes.
this recent Thursday as last week, then no. But last weekend, that Friday, not Thursday. Oh my God.
Time is
What are
fate.
days?
So
What are
am
days?
I, and
What
that
even
is
are
all
days?
I have to say.
Yeah, but yes,
Hooray.
Maggie's cool. Maggie is fun. Joel.
Oh, hi.
Didn't see
I'm
you there.
Joel. I am staff here at Empyrean at Alter Deco Archives. You can find me here every other Sunday, playing the absolute mess that is Ball Mistforge. Every other Friday, except this coming Friday, because I got real life stuff to do. I play Senor Fluffington in the What's Been a Reflection campaign, who is also a mess, but in different ways. Outside of that, everything else that I've got going on for the foreseeable future are IRL stuff that I really can't talk about until they happen. So if you want to find out when it happens, you can join our AA Discord server, and we'll post there when it happens.
Very cool. Very cool. Matt.
Hey y'all, I'm Matt. You can find me everywhere as Improv and RPG. And today I've been Fang, the restrained, risk-taking receptionist, and it's been good. It's been good to be back. Thank y'all so much. Such a blast.
Risk-taking.
Thank you.
Hello.
It's certainly risk taking.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, to wrap that up, I am Evie, the Disaster GM. I am the director of Alter Deco Archives and GM for this fine disastrous group, as well as our Friday game, Once Upon a Reflection, which is a fairy tale Cypher-based system. And yeah, I have a lot of fun with these wonderful players and their chaos. I am also, for a couple of months, going to be with Fuzka's channel on Saturdays. Shout out Fuzka.
She's cool.
Yeah, on Saturdays as Jatzidi, a Shatterkai warlock, for a little side campaign that is going in the same world and as like a side story to her primary campaign. So it's fun. And I've got a really great crew over there. We won't be live next Saturday because, much like Joel, Fuzka has some real life stuff going on that has us not going that weekend. But it's great. So if you want to chat, my socials and everything are in the description or chat. You can come into our Discord and ramble at us. I like to occasionally poke at whoever is paying attention there to help with naming stuff. So if you want to take part in the naming conventions and ideas for stuff for the world, then check that out. But yeah, I guess until the next session, we will see you later. And thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Oh, we are going to be raiding into a different channel if you're watching on Twitch, so stick around for that.
Do that.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.